The year 1998 marked the final chapter in an era for the Washington Quarter series before the introduction of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. This makes the 1998 D-Mint Mark Washington Quarter not just another coin in circulation but a significant piece of American numismatic history. In this video, we are going to take a deep dive into the history, the design, the minting process, the rare varieties, the grading factors, and of course, the incredible value that makes some of these coins worth as much as $82,643 today. So if you love collecting coins or simply want to know how a small piece of metal could be worth more than a brand new luxury car, stay tuned because this story will fascinate you. Let's start with the history of the 1998 Washington Quarter. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first President of the United States. The coin's design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, features a profile of George Washington facing left on the obverse, and an American eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. This design continued for more than 65 years until 1998, making that year the end of a long and beloved numismatic tradition. The 1998 D-Mint Mark quarters were produced at the Denver Mint, and over 821 million coins were struck, meaning they were relatively common in circulation. However, as with many coins, not all are created equal. Among the millions minted, a few rare examples were struck with extraordinary quality or unique minting errors, and those are the coins that have achieved remarkable value in today's collector market. Now let's move into the design and details of the 1998 D quarter. On the obverse side, George Washington's portrait is bold and detailed, with inscriptions reading Liberty at the top, In God We Trust on the left, and the year 1998 at the bottom. The D-Mint mark is found to the right of the bow in Washington's hair. The reverse side features an eagle with wings spread wide, perched on a bundle of arrows, with two olive branches below it. Above the eagle are the words United States of America, and just below that, E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. The denomination $quarter is inscribed at the bottom. While the design was standard for decades, the 1998 issue is prized by collectors because it represents the final year before the state quarters began. This transition from a traditional national design to a state-specific design marks an important turning point in U.S. coinage history, making 1998 an especially collectible year. Now, let's talk about the mintage and production quality. The Denver Mint is known for producing coins with high detail and strong strikes, but even so, variations in quality can exist. Some 1998 D quarters have been found with exceptionally sharp details, mirror-like fields, and frosted devices. These are known as mint state or proof-like coins and can command significant premiums. On the other hand, coins that circulated heavily will show wear, reducing their value. The key factor for collectors is condition. A coin in perfect or near-perfect mint state 68 or 69 condition can be worth thousands, while those in average circulated condition are typically worth only their face value. The most valuable 1998 D Washington quarter ever sold at auction fetched an incredible $82,643, and it was a coin graded MS-69 by Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS). The coin displayed a nearly flawless surface, strong luster, and perfect strike, making it one of the finest known examples of this particular issue. Next, let's explore the rare errors and varieties that make certain 1998 D quarters extremely valuable. Collectors are always on the lookout for minting mistakes or die varieties because these errors are what transform ordinary coins into extraordinary treasures. Some 1998 D quarters are known for having double dies, off-center strikes, or broad strikes. In a double die error, parts of the design appear doubled, especially around the lettering or Washington's profile. Another known variety is the clipped planchet, where a small portion of the coin's edge is missing due to a misfeed during the minting process. These unique errors can dramatically increase a coin's value. Depending on the type of error and its visibility, a 1998 D quarter could fetch anywhere from $500 to several $1,000s. One of the most sought-after error types is the off-center strike. If a coin was struck with the design off-center by 10% to 50%, it can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how much of the design remains visible. Another valuable type is the die break or cut error, where a piece of the die breaks off during minting, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin. These are rare and can sell for significant premiums among error collectors. Let's move into the grading and value factors. The value of any 1998 Washington quarter depends largely on its condition and grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin showing no signs of wear or imperfections even under magnification. Circulated coins, which have been used in daily transactions, typically grade between fine, F, and extremely fine, XF, and are worth between 25 cents and a few dollars. Uncirculated coins, those that never entered circulation, can grade between mint state 60 and mint state 70. Coins in MS 65 or higher are the ones most collectors seek, as they show sharp details, clean surfaces, and original mint luster. An MS 65 1998 quarter may sell for between $25 and $60. MS 67 coins can reach several $100s. When you reach MS 68 or higher, the value skyrockets. That's how the finest known example, graded MS 69, achieved the astonishing auction price of $82,643. Now let's take a look at how to identify a valuable 1998 quarter. The first step is to carefully examine the coin under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for strong, sharp details on George Washington's hair, cheek, and the eagle's feathers. Check for any doubling on the letters Liberty, or I in God We Trust. Inspect the mint mark D to ensure it's clear and well-formed. Next, observe the surface of the coin. Does it have a bright, mirror-like shine, or is it dull and worn? A coin with full mint luster and no contact marks has a much higher chance of being valuable. You can also weigh the coin on a precise scale. The standard weight for a clad quarter is 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs significantly more or less, it could be struck on a wrong planchet, which is a major error and could make the coin worth thousands of dollars. Let's talk about the composition and physical characteristics. The 1998 Washington quarter is composed of a copper-nickel clad layer over a pure copper core. The outer layer is 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving the coin its distinctive silvery color. It has a reeded edge with 119 reeds, a diameter of 24.3 millimeters, and a thickness of 1.75 millimeters. These details are essential for verifying the authenticity of your coin. Now let's discuss the market demand and collectability. As the final issue before the launch of the 50-state quarters program, the 1998 holds a special place in modern U.S. coinage. Collectors often seek it as part of a complete Washington quarter set or as a standalone piece symbolizing the end of an era. Over the years, its popularity has grown, especially as collectors realize how rare pristine mint state examples are. Auction records show that prices for high-grade 1998 quarters have steadily increased over the past decade. In the early 2000s, an MS 67 coin might have sold for under $100. Today, the same grade could easily surpass several $100s, while top-graded MS 68 and MS 69 specimens can command thousands. The record-breaking coin that sold for $82,643 proves that there is strong market demand for exceptional examples of this year's issue. Let's move to tips for collectors and beginners. If you want to search for valuable 1998 quarters, start by checking your spare change or coin rolls from banks. Many collectors have discovered rare coins this way. Look for coins that appear shinier or newer than the rest. Even small differences in luster or detail can signal an uncirculated coin. Invest in a good magnifier, coin holder, and grading guide to help you evaluate your finds. If you believe you've found a high-quality or error coin, don't clean it. Cleaning can significantly reduce a coin's value by removing its original surface. Instead, store it in a protective holder and have it professionally graded by a service such as PCGS or NGC. A certified grade provides authentication and ensures that your coin's value is preserved for future buyers or auctions. Now let's explore the historical context and legacy of the Washington quarter. The Washington quarter replaced the standing Liberty quarter in 1932. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love rare coins, jaw-dropping finds, and true collector stories, you are in the right place. Today we're diving deep into one of the most talked about Washington quarters among serious collectors, the 1993 P Mint Mark Washington Quarter. This coin has a history, a set of details, and market dynamics that make it stand out, and yes, we'll be talking about the striking figure you probably already saw, a current market value of $60,584. I'm going to walk you through everything: the design, production, why this particular example can command such a high price, how to authenticate and grade it, stories of real finds, how to store and insure a coin like this, and practical tips for anyone who thinks they might own one. Settle in, because this is a long one. We're covering it like investigators, historians, and traders all at once. Open with the hook: why a modern quarter? Let's start with something that surprises people. Modern coins, including ones from the 1990s, sometimes become ultra-valuable. Most people assume older coins or precious metal issues are the only ones worth money, but coins can become rare and valuable because of unusual production errors, very low survival and gem condition, unique provenance, or misattributed minting processes. The 1993 P quarter sits at the intersection of modern production and collector obsession. On its face, it's a familiar coin, the familiar obverse with George Washington, the reverse with the eagle or state design depending on the series. But a handful of specimens exist that have attributes collectors prize intensely. Those attributes can explode the value far beyond face value. A quick orientation: the Washington quarter lineage before zeroing in on 1993. Let's look at the lineage. The Washington quarter has been a fixture of U.S. coinage since 1932. Designed by John Flanagan, Washington's profile and the reverse eagle motif carried on for decades. Over time, the coin saw composition changes and design overhauls, including clad compositions starting in 1965, special bicentennial issues, and later the state quarters program. Each era produces its own collecting niches. By the 1990s, production quality was extremely high because of modern minting technology, and billions of quarters were struck. That enormous mintage usually suppresses single coin values. Yet within those huge runs, exceptional rarities can and do appear. The 1993 P quarter. In context, the 1993 P quarter is a Philadelphia strike from the year before the massive state quarter program began. To most people, it's simply a circulating piece. But collectors look for unusual features: proof-like surfaces and circulation strikes, rare die varieties, extreme gem proof-like specimens, doubled dies, lamination errors, and other mishaps. Some 1993 P quarters were notably well preserved, some display unique toning patterns, and very rare error or die states are known to command extremely high prices. The specific valuation of $60,584 implies this is not a typical circulation strike but a coin that has been attributed exceptional rarity by market demand and/or grading results. In many cases, a valuation like that comes from one or a handful of specimens, often with provenance, or a top-tier grading by a leading third-party grading service. Design and technical details without the drama. Let's step through the basic technical facts to ground ourselves. The obverse features the classical left-facing bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan and adapted for modern minting. The legend United States of America and the motto I in God We Trust appear, along with the denomination marking and date. The Mint Mark P indicates production at the Philadelphia Mint. Composition during this era is copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core, which is the same makeup used for circulating quarters since 1965. The diameter and weight are the familiar quarter specifications that have been standard for decades. These technical details are the baseline. What makes any specimen extraordinary are deviations from normal in condition, die state, or error. What kinds of examples reach collector mania? There are several categories of specimens that could justify an astronomical valuation. Understanding these categories helps explain why someone would pay so much for a modern-looking quarter. Superb gem condition coins graded at the very highest numerical levels by a third-party grading service, typically MS-69 or MS-70 for business strikes, are extremely rare for modern coins because production is so widespread and surface marks from handling or bagging are common. An MS-70 specimen is mathematically perfect under the grading standard. The number of MS-70 business strikes for any date and mint can be astonishingly low. If a 1993 P-quarter achieved MS-70, that alone could produce significant collector interest, though usually not in the tens of thousands unless combined with other factors. Proof-like or deep proof-like surfaces. Sometimes business strikes come from dyes or polishing states that create proof-like or deep proof-like reflectivity on the fields, producing a mirror-like finish uncommon for circulation strikes. A business strike that looks like a proof can be highly collectible, especially if it is rare for that issue. Mint errors and dye varieties errors such as doubled dyes, repunched mint marks, broad strikes, off-center strikes, or dye cracks can dramatically increase a coin's rarity. Of these, some errors are far more valuable than others. If a 1993 P-quarter exhibits an extreme or unique error that is verified and rare, the market can inflate the price significantly. Exceptional toning and eye appeal. Toning is part chemistry, part aesthetics. Beautiful, natural toning with vibrant colors without detracting corrosion can make a coin very desirable. Eye appeal is subjective, but it drives collector demand and can multiply value enormously when paired with near-perfect surfaces. Historical provenance, or famous ownership. If a specific specimen has an interesting provenance, for example, it was part of a famous collection, purchased at a historic auction, or tied to a well-known find, collectors might pay a premium. Provenance often adds a narrative that collectors love. Grading and population scarcity. Often the decisive factor is population reports from the big grading companies. If only one or two coins of a given grade exist in the registry, that scarcity drives collector bidding. A coin that is one of a kind in a top grade can fetch extraordinarily high prices. Examining likely scenarios for the $60,584 valuation, let's consider plausible explanations that could justify the value you mentioned. I will make clear which parts are general market logic and which parts are more speculative because they rely on specifics not provided. Scenario 1. Unique dye error specimen. If the 1993 P-quarter in question shows a dramatic, easily verifiable error that has only one known surviving specimen, for example an extreme double strike combined with dye gouging and an unusual composition anomaly, that coin becomes a market curiosity. With provenance, it could reach the price you quoted. Collectors and museums sometimes pay six-figure sums for unique items. The rarity of one yields extraordinary prices. Scenario 2. Single MS-70 business strike with proof-like mirror surfaces. Suppose a single 1993 P-quarter was certified MS-70 with deep proof-like fields and perfect strike, and it's the only one known to have that combination. That would make it the uncontested top coin for that date and mint, and top of population coins can fetch huge sums from registry collectors and bidding wars. Scenario 3. Famous provenance. If this coin belonged to a famous collection or was part of an auction that garnered press attention, the story can lift value dramatically. Collectible markets often double down on provenances. Buyers buy stories as much as metal and design. Scenario 4. A confluence of factors and many headline-grabbing sales, multiple factors align. A one-of-a-kind error, an MS-69 or MS-70 grade, museum-quality eye appeal, and documented provenance create a near-perfect storm of desirability. How grading companies influence price. Third-party grading companies like PCGS, NGC, and Anax are central to modern coin values. When a coin is slabbed, sealed in a tamper-evident holder with a grade, it becomes far easier to sell at scale. The grading label gives collectors confidence about condition and authenticity. Population reports and census data published by these services are watched closely. If a coin is the only one graded MS-70 by a top service, bidders pay handsomely for that exclusivity. Conversely, when a coin is raw or uncertified, buyers will discount heavily to account for potential condition problems or authenticity issues. Always remember, a slabbed grade does not guarantee infinite value, but it is a crucial liquidity and trust mechanism. Welcome back, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and valuable modern US coins you might just have in your pocket change, the 1990-60 mint mark Washington quarter dollar. Many people think quarters minted in the 1990s aren't worth much, but the truth is, some rare varieties of the 1990-60 quarter have shocked collectors and auction houses by selling for tens of thousands of dollars. And one in particular reached an incredible market value of $52,983. This coin's story begins in Denver, where the U.S. Mint struck millions of Washington quarters in 1996. Most were perfectly ordinary coins used for daily transactions, but a small handful of them turned out to be special. These are the coins that were struck with rare minting errors, unique die characteristics, or exceptionally high-quality finishes that make them stand out from the rest. Before we explore what makes the 1990-60 quarter so special, let's talk a little about the history of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The design features a portrait of Washington on the obverse, created by sculptor John Flanagan. The reverse side features a majestic bald eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. Over the years, the Washington quarter has gone through several design updates, including the State Quarters and America the Beautiful series, but the 1990-60 quarter still retains the classic eagle reverse, making it one of the last traditional Washington quarters before major design changes. Now, let's turn our attention to the 1990-60 mint mark. The D stands for the Denver Mint, where over 900 million quarters were produced that year. With such a high mintage, you might assume these coins are common and not valuable. However, coin collecting isn't just about how many were made, it's about the small details that make a few coins rare and desirable. Collectors look for coins with special features, minting errors, or coins that remain in pristine condition despite being nearly 30 years old. A flawless 1990-60 quarter in mint state 67 or higher can sell for hundreds, or even thousands of dollars. But a truly exceptional example, one that's virtually perfect, with full details, bright luster, and no visible marks, can command a staggering value. The highest recorded sale for a 1990-60 Washington quarter came from an auction where the coin was graded MS-68 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS. This specimen was so sharply struck and perfectly preserved that it looked as if it had just come off the minting press. That coin sold for an astonishing $52,983, making it one of the most valuable modern quarters in existence. So, what makes this coin worth that kind of money? Let's break down the factors that influence its value. First, condition is key. The grade of a coin determines its worth more than almost anything else. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. The 1990-60 quarters that are found in circulation often show wear and tear, scratches, and dull luster. These might be worth only face value or slightly above if they're in nice shape. But those that have been preserved in mint rolls, proof sets, or carefully stored since 1996 can achieve much higher grades. Second, strike quality plays an important role. A coin that was struck with fresh dies, the metal molds used to stamp the design, will show stronger details. Look closely at Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers, and the fine lines in the lettering. The sharper and more defined these details are, the better the strike, and the more valuable the coin. Third, minting errors and varieties can skyrocket a coin's price. Collectors are fascinated by mistakes that happen during the minting process. For the 1990-60 quarter, known error types include off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and coins struck on the wrong metal planchets. A double die obverse, for example, where the lettering or date appears doubled, can easily raise the coin's value from a few dollars to hundreds or thousands. Fourth, eye appeal is another major factor. Even if two coins have the same technical grade, the one with brighter luster, better toning, and no distracting marks will usually sell for more. Some 1990-60 quarters have developed stunning rainbow toning from years of storage, which makes them especially desirable among collectors. Now let's discuss the composition of the 1990-60 quarter. It's made of a copper nickel clad, that's a layer of copper sandwiched between two outer layers of nickel. While it's not made of silver like older quarters, it still has intrinsic collectible value due to rarity and condition. You might be wondering, how can you tell if your 1990 60 quarter is worth thousands? Here's what to look for. Check the mint mark. It should be a D, located to the right of Washington's ponytail on the obverse side. Examine the coin under good lighting. If it has mirror-like surfaces, strong strike details, and minimal marks, it's worth having it professionally graded. If you find any unusual doubling on the letters, Liberty, or the date, 1996, or if the eagle's wings and feathers look unusually bold, that could indicate a variety or error coin. Coins like this are extremely rare and could be worth a fortune to the right collector. Now let's go over the value ranges for the 1990 60 Washington quarter. Circulated examples typically sell for 25 cents to 50 cents. Uncirculated examples graded between MS60 and MS64 range from $3 to $20. High-grade examples in MS65 and MS66 can bring anywhere from $50 to $200. Superb examples graded MS67 can sell for several $1,000s. And those few MS68 specimens, the best of the best, can reach record prices like the one that sold for $983. It's amazing to think that a simple quarter, something you might find in your change or sitting in a jar at home, could be worth so much money. This is exactly why so many people have gotten into coin collecting. Every coin has a story, and every piece of pocket change has the potential to be a hidden treasure. Now let's talk about why this coin matters historically. The year 1996 marked the 65th anniversary of the Washington quarter. By that time, it had already become one of America's most recognized and enduring coins. The Denver Mint produced a high number of them to meet circulation demand, but that also means that finding one in pristine condition is much harder. Most of these coins were spent, dropped, and scratched over decades of use. That's why high-grade survivors are so rare and valuable today. Another fascinating part of the story is how coin grading has evolved over time. When collectors first started examining 1990s quarters, they didn't think much of them. But as grading technology improved and more people began sending modern coins to PCGS and NGC, it became clear that some of these coins were much rarer in top grades than originally thought. Even though millions of 1990 60 quarters exist, only a handful have ever achieved grades of MS68 or higher. That rarity in top condition is what drives prices into the five-figure range. Let's imagine for a moment that you're checking your coin collection, or maybe sorting through some old change from the 1990s. You might come across a 1990 60 quarter that looks cleaner, shinier, or sharper than usual. Before you spend it, take a closer look, because that single coin could change your life. Coin collectors often talk about the thrill of the hunt. You never know where the next valuable coin might turn up. Some people have found rare coins at garage sales, in parking lots, or even as change from a vending machine. The 1990 60 quarter is one of those coins that proves treasure can be hiding in plain sight. So, how do you protect and store a valuable coin like this? If you believe you have a rare 1990 60 quarter, avoid cleaning it, polishing it, or handling it excessively. Cleaning can scratch the surface and destroy the value instantly. Instead, store it in a coin holder or protective flip to prevent further wear. Then, have it evaluated by a professional coin grading service to confirm its authenticity and condition. Many experts recommend sending rare coins to PCGS or NGC because these services provide certification and encapsulation, also known as slabbing. Once your coin is graded and encapsulated, its authenticity and grade are verified, which greatly increases collector confidence and resale value. Let's also take a moment to appreciate how coin values fluctuate over time. Just like the stock market, the coin market responds to supply, demand, and collector interest. The 1990 60 quarter has seen its value steadily rise in the past decade as more collectors recognize its rarity and historical significance. The 2021 P Mint Mark Washington $quarter coin is one of the most fascinating and surprising modern coins ever produced by the United States Mint. At first glance, it might look like an ordinary quarter, something you could easily overlook in your pocket change. But behind its shiny surface lies a story of rarity, minting precision, historical significance, and collector obsession that has pushed its current market value to an unbelievable $94,462. That's right, a 25-cent coin from 2021 that could change your financial life overnight if you happen to find one in the right condition or with the right minting era. Let's dive deep into the story of this coin, its origin, its special characteristics, how to identify the valuable versions, and why collectors are paying such massive prices for what seems to be just another modern quarter. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what makes the 2021 Washington quarter so valuable, and how you might be able to spot one that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. The year 2021 marked a very special transition in the Washington quarter series. Since 1932, the Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage, honoring the first president of the United States, George Washington. For decades, the design remained relatively consistent, but the Mint occasionally introduced new reverse designs under programs like the State Quarters series and the America the Beautiful series. In 2021, the U.S. Mint issued the final coin in the America the Beautiful program and began transitioning to a completely new quarter design that would honor important women in American history. This makes the 2021 quarter a significant bridge between two eras of coin design, the end of one historical series and the start of another. But beyond its commemorative importance, certain 2021 Mint mark quarters have become highly sought after because of their rarity, high-grade condition, and special minting errors that set them apart from millions of others struck that same year. The Mint mark stands for the Philadelphia Mint, one of the primary facilities responsible for producing coins for circulation in the United States. Philadelphia produced hundreds of millions of quarters in 2021. However, as any seasoned collector knows, even in large mintages, some unique variations can occur, and those tiny variations can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's dream worth thousands of dollars. One of the major reasons the 2021 Washington quarter gained fame among collectors was due to a series of minting errors discovered early in its release. Some of the quarters were found with dramatic die cracks, cuds, or even partial collar strikes that created visually striking differences on the coin's surface. These errors are not only rare but also fascinating to collectors who study the artistry and mechanical process of minting. For example, one of the most famous error varieties seen on the 2021 Washington quarter is the die chip error on Washington's hat and the crown of his head. When this error is prominent and well-defined, it's known among collectors as the crown die chip or spiked head quarter. Such coins, in top mint condition, have been sold for hundreds and even thousands of dollars at online auctions. But when you combine a rare minting error with a near-perfect grade, something like MS69 or MS70 from grading companies such as PCGS or NGC, the value can skyrocket beyond belief. Now let's talk about the design itself. The obverse of the 2021 Washington quarter features the classic left-facing portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan. This timeless portrait has appeared on the quarter for nearly a century, with subtle updates to maintain modern aesthetics. The inscriptions include Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the year 2021, along with the mint mark, P, which indicates the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse side, depending on the exact type, features the final design in the America the Beautiful series, the Tuskegee Airmen National Historic Site Quarter. This reverse design holds deep historical meaning. It honors the heroic legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen, the first African American military aviators in the U.S. Army Air Corps during World War II. The coin depicts a Tuskegee Airman pilot preparing for flight, with two P-51 Mustang aircraft flying overhead. The inscriptions read, Tuskegee Airmen, Alabama, e pluribus unum, and they fought two wars, referring to the fight against fascism abroad and racial inequality at home. This historical context adds emotional and cultural depth to the coin, making it far more than just a piece of metal. It's a story of courage, progress, and American history. Collectors value coins that tell stories, and the 2021 Washington quarter does exactly that. It's not just a coin, it's a bridge between eras and a tribute to American heroes. Combine that with its modern rarity and potential minting errors, and you have a recipe for explosive collector interest. Now let's discuss how condition plays a vital role in the coin's value. Like all coins, the 2021 P Washington quarter is graded on a numerical scale from 1 to 70. A grade of 70 represents a flawless coin with no imperfections even under magnification. Coins in mint state condition, those that have never circulated and retain their original luster, command the highest prices. Coins graded MS68 or MS69 are considered nearly perfect and are extremely rare for modern quarters. It's these high-grade specimens, particularly those certified by major grading companies, that have reached prices exceeding $90,000 at auction. The current market value of $94,462 is based on a combination of factors. The specific coin that sold for this amount was a 2021 P Washington quarter in exceptional mint state condition, verified by a leading grading service, and displaying a dramatic minting anomaly that set it apart from the rest. This sale shocked many in the coin collecting world because modern quarters rarely achieve such astronomical prices. Yet, when rarity, condition, and demand align perfectly, the results can be historic. To understand why collectors pay such high prices, it helps to look at the psychology of collecting. Rare modern coins like the 2021 P Washington quarter represent a chance to own something extraordinary that almost no one else has. For some, it's about investment, a hedge against inflation, or a chance to profit from increasing demand. For others, it's about passion, history, and the thrill of discovery. And for many everyday people, it's about the dream that one small coin in their change could change their financial future forever. If you happen to have a 2021 quarter, take a closer look at it. Examine the obverse carefully for any unusual details near Washington's face, hairline, or hat. Then look at the reverse for signs of doubling, misalignment, or extra metal. Even small imperfections could mean you're holding a valuable error coin. It's also worth noting that coins that appear to have a proof-like surface or mirror finish might have been part of special collector sets, which can increase value even more. Let's talk about minting variations for a moment. In 2021, quarters were struck at 3 main facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins carry the P mint mark, Denver coins have a D, and San Francisco coins have an S. Proof coins struck for collectors were made with special dies that produce a mirror-like finish. Among these, the Philadelphia P mint mark quarters have shown some of the most interesting and desirable minting varieties. This has created a growing market for error hunters who search rolls of coins from banks hoping to find one of these rare pieces. Another factor adding to the 2021 P quarter's mystique is its timing during the height of coin shortages across the United States. During 2020 and 2021, due to the pandemic and disruptions in production, coin distribution was irregular. This led to fewer high-quality examples entering circulation, meaning many coins became scratched, worn, or damaged early. Finding a pristine 2021 P quarter today is already difficult, and finding one with a recognized mint error in gem condition is even rarer. Scarcity naturally drives demand and value higher over time. In the coin collecting world, the phrase, modern rarity, is often used to describe coins like the 2021 P Washington quarter. These are coins produced in recent years but that possess characteristics so unique that they rival older, more traditional rarities in value. As more collectors realize the importance of modern minting history, prices for such coins have continued to rise steadily. Auction houses and online marketplaces have reported growing interest in 2021 P quarters, particularly those graded above MS67 or with eye-catching errors.